Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're moving on to 2.8, relationships between two lines. Okay, now this is kind of vague right there, and it's vague on purpose because the point of this is going to be for you to figure these things out. Alright, as our objective says here, we're going to discover certain relationships between two lines and to detect those relationships without graphing the lines. So basically just by looking at their equations. Alright, here we go. Now first thing we need to be able to do to accomplish this is graph lines in slope-intercept form. Alright, so I've got y equals 5/2 x minus 4. Okay, again, that minus 4 kind of is our b value. And again, we want to do that b value first. Okay, and again, that's always our y-intercept. So we're at minus 4. Again, either up or down on the y. In this case, down 4 because it's negative. Gives me a starting point. And then that 5/2, remember, we're going to do this second. And this is my rise over run, or my m. Okay, now whichever way you like to think of that, that's fine, but 5/2, again, we go to our starting point, the negative 4 in this case. We go up 5 and then over 2, make a nice dot. And then again, we can do that all day if we want. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more, over 2 more, boom. And I can go down 5 and over 2 the other direction and graph myself a very, very nice line. Okay, pardon my slightly wiggly hand right there, but there you go. Alright, we're also going to have to graph lines not in slope-intercept form. Okay, now, again, I've called this ax plus by equals c form, but that's not really that important. What's important is that you look at that and go, hey, I want to graph this, but it's not in a nice form for me. So first thing you do is subtract the x term in this case from both sides. Alright, again, I'm subtracting in this case because that was a positive 4x. Of course, if it was a negative 4x, I would have added 4x to both sides. Okay, again, the whole point is those cancel, leaving me a 3y. And then again, those aren't like terms, so I bring it down the negative 4x, and then I bring down the positive 18 as well. Okay, again, now the only thing in my way from where I want to be is that 3, but I don't want to get rid of the y, so I just divide by 3. I divide everybody else by 3 as well, and I get myself to y equals negative 4/3 x plus 18 divided by 3 is 6. Alright, now once I got that, I do what I just did in the last problem, basically. As I'll find my y-intercept first, in this case is 6, so I go up to the 6, make my first dot, and then I've got a negative 4 over 3, again that's my rise of negative 4, and then my run of 3, rise of negative 4 means down 4, and then run of 3 comes over 3, positive direction, and then again I continue that all day. So down 4 over 3, and I've got room to do it one more time, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and again, just for accuracy's sake, now I can go up 4, and left 3, and again those all line up oh so nicely. So I'll draw myself my best line right through there and call it a day. Okay, now as it says down here in the bottom, from this point forward the entire lesson is basically one big try these set of problems. Okay, the point of this is for you to discover those relationships on your own by doing some graphing, so good luck, may the force be with you. Alright, so discovering relationships between the lines, I want you to graph both those equations in the same grid, and there should be a mathematical term that's in your head someplace that you can go, oh, those two lines are blank. Write whatever that blank right there is down in the bottom here. Alright, same deal here, but notice that the second equation is not in the y equals mx plus b form, so you're going to have to get it there first. Alright, here's another one very similar to the last two. The equations are both in a nice form this time, so hopefully this one will go nice and smooth and quick. Alright, here's another one. Again, notice that the second equation is in a not so nice form, so you're going to have to mess around with it first. Alright, now hopefully you've noticed two different patterns between the equations you graphed so far, and basically the relationship between the two lines because of those patterns. And just summarize that in the space below. Putting your ideas to the test. Now what you should have written down on the previous slide, hopefully you can use those rules that you came up with and give some kind of a description of the relationship between these guys without graphing them. Okay, do notice that number 7 and 8, the equations are not in such a nice form, so you might need to mess with those first before making your decision. But there you go. Good luck. I'll see you in class.